Hello, everyone. It's Sunday Live, and let's see how it's going to be with StreamYard. Last time I did with TEDS, so let's do this again. Who is here? Okay. Okay, so Amitav is here. Hello, Amitav. How are you? Okay. Okay, so this time I'm trying to invite people. Invite guest to broadcast. Okay. Okay, so yeah, good. Nice. We will talk about something later on WhatsApp. Okay, so Sovik is here also. Hello, Sovik. How are you? So the today's plan is to use this StreamYard and invite one of you so that we can have one-on-one chat. And I don't know how it's going to be, but let's try this thing. Okay. So with this StreamYard, how I can do this, I can invite people by sharing this. Okay, so let's share this link. And okay, let's join this with this link, and I'm going to select people one by one, and then we are going to talk one by one. Nice chair. Thank you, Amitav. This is a new chair I have just bought. It's a green sole chair, and it's nice. It's very comfortable. Okay. You just missed 2 minutes. You have not missed anything. Okay, so I have sent the link for this put user in timeout. No. So this is the link I have shared, and you can join this on the StreamYard so that I can take you to this live and directly talk. Have a colorful morning, Kirti says. Thank you, Kirti, both of you. So Amitav joined. So let's add Amitav first, and then we will talk with someone else. So Amitav, your voice is not nice. Your video is not visible, neither your voice. Let's
Twice for me.
Yeah.
Is it because
Hello. Hello. Can you hear me? Hello, Amitav.
hi, hi
Can you hear
Saket.
me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, that's good. I can also hear you. And I think people also can hear you. So, uh, what you are doing?
Well, I don't know if you are able to hear me, but
Yeah, I
I
can hear
was
you.
enjoying the match, so the commentary might come in between.
Yes.
It's Sunday morning, so
Yeah, yes. Okay, so can you switch on your video if possible?
I'll need to reload. I think it's asking for permission. Hold on a bit.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, so after Amitabh, we will take someone else. So you can click on that link join on the StreamYard. Then we will talk. Okay, so one more time, I can share with you that I have started newsletters for the Bitfumes. So if you want to subscribe to the newsletters, you can go to this link, bitfumes.com/newsletters. And with this newsletter, you will get a weekly email about programming, about if there are any course offer, not just for my course, for any other courses. Also, I'm going to share uh, what I'm going to do on the Bitfumes, like next scheduling for the different courses, what I am preparing, whatever I'm learning, some of the best blogs or programming related things. So yes, you can join this bitfumes.com/newsletters, and you will going to get lots of things. Plus, as you know, I'm working on a Flutter course, and yeah, Flutter course is going to be interesting. So people are joining, and let's add some people. Okay, so Lloyd is here, so we can add Lloyd, and let's see how it goes. Okay, so Lloyd, I'm adding you. Are you ready? I think he is ready. Hello, Lloyd.
Hi, how are you, Satak?
Yeah, I'm fine, Lloyd. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Nice to see you live, and it's a really, really great pleasure.
Sure, same here. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. You've been creating great content for us.
Thank you, Lloyd. And so, what's your main programming language? What you work? Where you work?
So I work with PHP. So I'm a Laravel developer. I'm really
Oh, very.
liking JStream. Yeah,
That's great. That's great. Thank you for
yeah.
joining this live, and it's really great to see people joining from various countries. By the way, where are you from?
I'm from Zimbabwe.
Oh my God, Zimbabwe. That's really, really cool.
Thanks,
How,
thanks, man. Thanks.
how was your week?
My week was fine. Also, I was just starting a new project with Laravel 8, and yeah, there was also tinkering with PHP 8. So many cool
Yeah,
features there, man. Yeah,
yeah. PHP 8 is really cool.
especially
I,
union types. I'm really loving, yeah, union types
exactly,
on
exactly.
PHP 8.
I have not looked every
And
feature, but I'm going to create a video on PHP 8 soon.
yeah, great. Would actually love that. Would actually love that because yeah. So I think it's going to be a big change for us PHP developers. Actually, PHP 8 is now out.
Exactly.
A lot of cool features. I think we also have like new performances. So yeah, and we also hope that Taylor Otwell is also going to actually come up with a new Laravel version that actually uses PHP 8.
Yeah, they are started testing Laravel for PHP 8. I just read one tweet from someone from the Laravel community. They are saying that they're testing the Laravel with PHP 8, and if everything goes right, maybe for the next release we will have that.
Oh, so great, man. So I just wanted to say thank you, man, for the content that you've been creating. I've learned so
Yeah,
much from you. I've become a better developer. I've wrote a few apps watching your videos. So, man, thank you so for creating the content, amazing content for free. I'm really loving it.
that's amazing. That's really really nice that you like this
God
content.
bless and keep on. Yeah, we're also
Thank you,
waiting
Lloyd,
for.
for.
for- Okay, sure.
Sorry, you're saying something.
We're also waiting for a new series for Laravel 8 from you.
Yeah, thank thanks for reminding me. Sure, with
Okay,
Laravel
sure.
8. Yeah. Okay, so thanks for joining, and let's have someone else.
Okay, sure.
Okay,
Thanks for
bye.
having me.
Yep.
Okay, bye.
So it was very nice talking with Lloyd, and now I think Amitav is there. So let's add Amitav. Amitav, how are you? Nice to see you.
I'm I'm doing good, Shastak. Yes, so
That's
I had
really
to. I won't lie. I had to prepare a bit. I was, you know, completely, chillaxed. Typical Monday morning thing. So I wasn't
obviously.
expecting a video call. So I said, okay, yeah,
I was just trying this thing in the from the StreamYard. It's really cool. So I can now interact with people one by one. So this is really amazing.
okay. So this video is on YouTube, but you are using StreamYard to connect with multiple people, right?
Yeah, it's broadcasting through this StreamYard, and it's
Okay.
just broadcasting on YouTube currently. But it has the ability to broadcast to several platforms like on the Instagram, Twitter, Facebook
Oh, that's
simultaneously.
nice.
We can
That's
do
nice.
that. So maybe later I will try that also.
Yeah.
It's really nice. So how was your week?
It was busy. Starting to do some Magento code for
Magento.
the yes. Uh,
This was really great. So how was
yeah.
your experience with Magento?
Uh, the platform is nice, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels very limiting because um, to to even do something like a basic listing page, right? You need to
Mhm.
write a lot of code. I mean, you'll have
Uh,
to inject a dependency for product, then you depend inject for inventory and all those stuff. It takes a good amount of time to do basic stuff, but I mean,
okay.
the power of that platform is something
Mhm.
different. So yes, let's see
Okay.
how things roll out.
Obviously.
Yeah, the only
we
only pain point is the JavaScript. It's jQuery and
Oh
Knockout.js.
my god.
So,
jQuery.
so, so yes,
Shit.
after doing React, Vue, Angular, when you are writing jQuery again, it feels as you have going backwards. Like, oh my god, what am I doing?
Stone ages.
Stone Age, yes.
It's really really bad. After doing React Angular, if you try jQuery, it's like what you are doing.
Yes, it's
Frustrating
like,
thing.
okay, I don't have binding. How do I change the DOM? Okay, I have to write this function and that function. It's madness.
Really. Oh, Robert Glock is saying jQuery in 2020. Yes.
Yes, my
Yes.
friend. Sometimes you do need to write them.
So Magento doesn't have any plan for upgrading for JavaScript like from jQuery to any other platform.
um, they have so I'll brief you what Magento is doing, by the way. Um, so they had been on 2.3 for quite some time, and then Adobe purchased Magento. So it was a big
Oh,
change, right?
yeah.
And after that, they have uh, come up with a flavor of Magento which is headless. So you write
Okay.
APIs, okay, you manage content through Magento, which it is very good at, and then you use PWAs using React or Vue or any framework of your choice, and you do your
Okay.
JavaScript. So
Uh,
yes, that is the platform where we are trying to get into finally,
mhm,
because it allows us as a company and as individual developers to grow, because we are dealing with new technologies which is there in the
mhm.
market. And the power of Magento is in its e-commerce platform, so we can use that to its full advantage, and we can still have a good front end. So that's what we
Uh,
are trying to do.
okay. Obviously, if Adobe has acquired this Magento, then they have really
Yes.
great plan for this. So they will actually do something unique because the power of Adobe is really great.
Yes, yes. Some things are very powerful, Sarthak. I will tell you, like if you have a shop, okay,
Mhm,
you as a brand have shops in Delhi, okay, Chennai, Kolkata, all metros, right? And every metro you have multiple warehouses.
mhm.
Now, when I'm ordering, if you want that your order should consider both the warehouses to calculate which warehouse has the stock which is near to you, and which warehouse can fulfill your order quickly, all these logics are there, which,
Oh,
like, if we try to build it, it will take a lot
mhm.
of time, but
Obviously.
with Magento it is there. So yeah, it's quite interesting space. Let's see how things
Uh,
roll out.
one of my friend told me that freelancers who do Magento,
Hmm.
whatever it is, they are offering very high hourly rate, like $100 or $200 per hour rate for doing real means high level of Magento.
Yes, yes.
So this is so powerful.
Yes, we were speaking to a few freelancers because we wanted to get trained. And yes, we have seen that the rates are quite high because you are providing solutions for business.
Exactly.
So you know that the end client is going to get a lot of business from out of it. So they
Correct.
are going to shell out money. So yes, I mean that's there.
Correct. That's really great. I have never tried Magento. Not in the list. Not even in the list.
Not in mine as well, but yeah, I think it was need of the hour. It's in PHP, and I lead my PHP team. So my boss told me that let's at least understand the domain and
Exactly.
understand how things work.
Mhm.
Then, because we need to first get hold of what is possible and what is not, so that we can move ahead. So that's the plan right now.
Okay, so is this a project for means fully based on Magento, or it's just a
Yes.
simple one fully based? Okay,
So
so
so we were exploring things, and in between we got a project, so we picked it up.
ah,
Okay, we took that challenge.
so can we expect Magento tutorial on your Amitav Roy
No,
channel,
no, no,
Bitfumes,
no. So
YouTube
so the
channel of
first hurdle was
Amitav
I
Roy?
couldn't install Magento on my laptop. It was not working at all.
Why?
It's quite heavy, and it was not
So
working
heavy.
at all. I don't know. It's not compatible yet with Composer 2.0. Okay, it requires an older version of PHP, and so I said, I told my office, okay, give me a desktop. I'm not
Yeah.
going to play around with it on my laptop. uh, so yes.
Yeah, you have started some other YouTube series on your channel. What's that? The
Okay,
bookmark
so
app.
yes,
Tell us
what
something
happened?
about that.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for that opportunity. So what happened was, when I did this, Inertia JS, React, and TypeScript course, the expense tracker thing in Hindi, a lot of people said that they are facing a lot of problems with building the application for production. And I said, wow, I mean, I never thought that this was a something which the users can face as a problem, because I was doing it so many times. So I said, okay,
Mhm.
this is going to be the series where I will address this problem. And so what I did was, apart from creating the basic bookmark thing, I showed them a complete setup of how you should install softwares on the EC2, I mean Linux instance, and then set up Laravel.
Oh,
How you should create a MySQL user for the Laravel application and all those stuff. So yes,
that's amazing. Okay,
yes.
so why not you share your YouTube channel link in the
Oh
chat
sure.
section?
Yeah. By the way,
Yeah, so
this time I took your advice for a full almost 2 hours course instead of doing it part by part.
that's
So
great.
I'm learning from the pro here on YouTube.
I'm even not sure. You know what happened?
Yeah.
I have created 10 hour of React, 10 hour of Vue, and both were like getting lots of views. Then I
Mm.
thought, okay, let's create a 10 hour of JavaScript course with the games. And you know what happened? It even have not crossed it 3,000 views within
Oh,
3 weeks. After 3 weeks, it's not crossed 3,000 views. Something is happening in YouTube algorithm that it uh, if a video just picked up in one day, I think, then it's
it
good.
gets more popularity.
Then it will get views in the future also. But if it's not getting any traction in first day, like in
Mm.
first 24 hours, it's going to die. So that 10 hour of JavaScript just gone away from the channel like it's never existed. It just have a 2,500 or 600 views just. And that those views were for first 2 days or 3 days. After that, there will be like
Hmm.
1 or 2 views per day. So that's so bad.
Yeah, this is sad. I mean, you spend so much time, you give so much effort in creating something, and then if the algorithm is going against you, it feels so bad. Because I went through that video, and I can clearly say that there is so much to learn from those videos. I mean,
Yeah,
vanilla JavaScript and creating games out of it. You played around with Canvas as well. Any developer who is even remotely going into gaming, or maybe something to do
exactly.
with Canvas, they can learn so many things.
So it's all about YouTube. So you have to
Right,
just experiment it,
yeah,
do your work, forget about views,
right,
just do
right.
your work, nothing else.
True.
Tanzim is saying Alpine JS is better than jQuery. Just been 1 year since it came out. So what's your view on this thing?
Right. Uh, you know, frameworks, especially in JavaScript, they come,
JavaScript
they almost come
cannot.
every month, every
Every
month,
month, every month we
and
have a new framework.
right, and we really don't go to production with something which is so new, because I think how Taylor Otwell said one thing was very clear, that once we do a project, or once I inherit something, right, it's my burden.
Exactly.
It is not the framework's burden. The framework can die. The framework may decide that we won't do anything with it. What has happened with us with Code Igniter, for example? We have
Hmm.
two projects in Code Igniter which the client is not ready to refactor into Laravel, and we have to maintain it. And the pain of convincing my team that there is some work on this Code Igniter project, so let's do it, is very it's very
Very
high.
hard.
यार यार बताओ,
Correct.
क्या कर रहे हो यार, क्या है, literally in these words. So yes. So
Okay. So, yes, people, you can also join from the link given at the top. I can should pin that comment.
yeah, I think you
Let me
should pin
just
it.
pin that comment so that people can join. And first of all, how I can go to the YouTube from here. View on YouTube. Got it.
Uh, why is my video mirrored? So this is my left, which is coming on the screen as right.
It's changed. Yeah, it's totally. This is my right. It's showing mirrored left side. I don't know what
Yeah.
happened. It changed. Yeah. Okay, so here I am on YouTube. I can just pin this. So yes, people, you can also join me just like Amitav is here, so that we can chat one by one and see what we can talk. Okay. So, oh, you have not shared your channel link.
I did. Uh,
Really? I just forgot. No,
Hold
you
on.
have not.
This one? Okay. Yeah, I did that on YouTube, but I'll post it here as well.
You have
Private
sent a
chat.
private link. No, private chat. No.
Okay. I have to log
You,
in, is it? Because
okay, no,
this.
no issues. I can share this. So, guys, Amitav Roy channel is here, and he is doing a really nice playlist or a real course with Laravel. So do check out. And since I am little slow on Laravel, I'm trying different other things. So till then, Amitav's channel is there for specifically for Laravel, and you can join. Okay, obviously, I have pinned on the comment section. If you want to join me, you can join directly from this StreamYard, and we are here to talk with you. People are saying once again. Tanzim says Alpine.js is a library, simplistic yet it's new, but It's awesome, much recommended by Laravel community. Obviously, it's a Laravel community framework only. Outside Laravel community, I don't think anybody know about Alpine JS. Or very few people.
Very few, yeah. I
Very
think
very
it's very similar to how Vue picked up very quickly. I mean, I
exact.
remember when I was playing around with Vue and React both. Laracast helped me. My company purchased the subscription for a year, and we were like training a lot. And Vue seemed so easy. And
Mhm.
yeah, later on we picked up on React. The first approach was from jQuery. We moved to Vue, and then we moved to React.
Then to React. This is, I think, the simplest path,
Yes,
because when you move from jQuery to a framework, I think Vue is the best because it's so
yes,
simple.
yeah.
And I think Alpine is exactly same. I didn't get the use case of Alpine. If I have the Vue, what's the
Right. I
use?
mean, uh, yeah, it's not very different, or maybe
Yeah,
as you
it's
said, even I
uh,
didn't get it, but
yeah.
yeah,
I can do anything with Vue if I don't want to use Alpine.
yeah,
So I'm not getting. Okay, one more. Ayush is there. So can we add Ayush?
yeah, sure.
Okay, Tanzim, can you join? Because you are very active and you are having some knowledge of Alpine, so we can chat about Alpine. If possible, do join. Otherwise, we are going to add Ayush. Okay, so Ayush is here, and how
Hi.
I
I
can.
wish.
This is, I think, good. Hello, Ayush. How are you?
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
I'm extremely good, and I think this is a nice way to have some spice on the Sunday live, so
Yeah, it's
that
good to interact with people as well nowadays. I mean,
exactly,
I'm still not going out too much, although I can see people are returning back to normal. But yeah, because the cases were rising up, so I'm
yeah,
still staying at home. So it's good to interact with others.
exactly. This is I feel like whenever I previously I did the live, it was all one way. Like people are having questions on chat, I'm answering. It's boring sometime. I have to like repeat the same answer again and again.
Yes,
So
yes, I've been
I was like,
there.
the most asked question is which
Where do
one
you
I
stay?
have to use. Sorry,
Where do you stay? I remember the one
no,
which you did on rooftop. I think there were 3 or 4 people at different times. They asked
three
you,
or four people
where do
ask
you
same
live?
question. Where you live? uh, Apart from that, the most asked question is like which one to use, Vue or React.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Tanzim is also there. Let's add Tanzim and let's have chat related to this Alpine JS. So I'm adding you, Tanzim. So be prepared.
Yes.
Okay, so Tanzim is also
Hello,
there.
Tanzim.
Let's add Tanzim and you can, Tanzim, please turn off your laptop or desktop.
YouTube stream.
Simple YouTube volume. Just turn it off and he goes. Okay, Ayush. So,
Yeah.
how was your day? It's just started, but how was
Yeah.
it?
Uh, Nowadays, I'm gaming a lot instead of programming. So uh, I have several phases. Like in some days I tend to code a lot, and some days I forget coding and do only gaming. So this is the gaming phase I'm going through.
It's not just for you.
Yeah.
Sometime I used to have code like from morning to evening. I'm just coding, coding,
Yeah.
coding, and sometime I feel like let's just read docs or something. Let's just do nothing. So
Yeah.
it happened.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn Docker because I want to implement
Yeah.
it on my project. So today I will in the evening I will work on Docker and
Oh,
try to implement.
that's good. Let's add Chansim. He is back.
By the way, a little off the topic question, but
Sure.
so when do you guys feel you are most productive? For example, I feel I am most productive when I am getting up very early and after 6:30 in the evening, and in the middle it is like okay, chal raha hai.
Yeah, yeah, same,
Pro-
same.
Same.
Productivity
Yeah,
for me is like obviously in the morning and in the night, like after 11 or 12 maybe.
Oh,
After
you are a
11 or
night.
12, so it's like 12 to 2. This is
Mhm.
the highest productive time or in the morning obviously, but it totally depends upon what I am doing. So if I'm coding and if I know what I have to do, so time doesn't matter. Whenever I start, it's a full productive time. But when I have to learn, this is the most difficult thing. Like I'm learning for Flutter, so now I have to pick a proper time duration where I can easily learn. So in the morning or in the night, this is the best time I have learning productivity.
Wow. Okay.
yeah. And I started to get up late nowadays. Earlier, I used to get up at 7 a.m. Now it's 9 a.m.
Oh, same case.
Laws,
Lockdown changed our sleep cycle.
winters.
So
Okay, that's
Ayush, where
good.
do you live? You are in Mumbai, right?
No, I'm in
Oh,
Ujjain, MP.
MP. Okay.
Is near to me.
Oh,
Yeah,
It's
Indore,
very very
Ujjain.
near. Like I'm in Indore, he's in Ujjain. It's like 50 40 50 kilometer.
Yeah, 1 hour drive.
1 hour
oh.
and we haven't met it.
Yeah,
One of my office colleague lives in Ennore. His name is Ashish.
Oh.
Yeah, we were planning to go sometime. Yeah, maybe that
Uh-huh.
time I will drop into your home as well. Stuff like.
Okay. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Ayush. So you said you are doing something on Docker. So can you
yeah.
share something, whatever you
No,
have?
I haven't started yet. So I have very less idea about it. I know it's a concept of when when people say it runs on my machine. So the Docker took that concept and yeah, applied it everywhere. So you run a Docker instance and
Mhm.
it runs everywhere. The no, it's not dependent on the environment you are running it.
Yeah,
And
correct.
I'm working on Node.js in my company right now. So Laravel, I'm only doing on my side project, but in company, I'm working on Node and Vue.js,
So
TypeScript. Yeah,
Node Express, obviously,
yeah, Express, TypeScript, Mongoose, MongoDB. So
MongoDB.
that's the backend, and for front end, Vue.js.
Oh, that's good.
So slowly people are moving to Node. I mean, it's the same case with
Yeah,
my company.
Slowly, slowly, no,
Yes.
not slowly. Very aggressively, people are moving to Node.
Yeah, I mean,
It's,
I don't know. I don't see that love in the Node ecosystem. The so many package and so many cool things which is happening with Laravel. I don't see that, but yet Node is powerful. Node is there.
uh,
yeah,
I feel like people Node has two benefit. One, it is simple, and second, it is JavaScript. Okay,
Yeah.
for PHP, this is the opposite. Compared to Node, Laravel is a little difficult compared to Node, obviously, and it's a PHP. People hate PHP. I don't know why. So that's the reason I feel like people are moving to Node, because they see like Node as a they see Node as a Amitabh Bachchan and Laravel as Abhishek Bachchan. Both has powerful, both has their own power. It's not bad, but just the name is destroyed.
Yeah, I feel like Laravel is holding PHP to its status right now because
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
correct.
uh, if I ever decided to move completely to Python or JavaScript, but I will never leave Laravel. I will keep doing projects on Laravel.
Obviously, this
Other than that, I won't use any framework like CodeIgniter or anything, but Laravel will be there. Yeah,
level is like level is like in our heart.
yeah,
Never going to leave.
first love.
yeah,
First love.
yeah.
Correct,
Yeah,
correct.
I still remember in 2016 I when I started programming, so I was started with WordPress. So after 1 month, I got bored that what is this? What I'm doing? So I found this website larcas.com, and
Hmm.
it's that time it was Laravel 5.4.
Hmm.
So I started the first video of Jeffrey, and he started like this. So come on, let me introduce you to this framework. So I got so interested in that framework that I never looked back. I I had to learn this.
Actually, Laravel
Yeah,
has everything for you. Whatever you
yeah,
want to do, you can do it directly from Laravel. You can start doing your project within 15 minutes, I think.
yeah,
Boom. It's like boom. And same is with Adonis.js. I want to get it back.
yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Have you tried, Ayush?
Yeah, I tried Adonis.js. It's good.
It's
I'm
really
not implemented in the project, but I did a CRUD application tried once.
it's really really amazing. And with 5, I believe it's going to give challenges to other framework.
It does not give Mongoose support, right? MongoDB. It
It's
only is for
not
SQL.
having official support, but there is a unofficial
Community,
library. Yeah,
community.
community package.
Yeah.
Community package is there to have that. Uh, Ravi says, "What if Docker doesn't run on your machine?" I think he's talking about the new
Setup,
MacBook.
install.
He's talking about the new MacBook
Yeah.
M1. M1 doesn't support this Docker yet.
Yeah, it
Oh,
will support eventually.
No,
I think.
you don't know about that.
no.
Many softwares are not yet supported, but the major one is Docker, and
Hmm.
it's really a pain
Oh,
for the DevOps people if they have the new ones.
It's a
It's
it's
really bad.
a it's a killer one because
Yeah,
I know few of my friends they don't even have PHP installed on their machine.
they
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 just
start
use
with
Docker.
their Docker. So
Exactly.
yeah,
It's totally bad. And say, also the I think Vapor is not Vapor. The Valet, Laravel Valet
oh,
is
oh,
also not supported with M1, but they are working hard to have the support. But I feel with the next release of M2, maybe this is going to have.
the first one is always an experiment on the user, the end
Yeah.
users.
Tanzin says 15, 16-year kid who didn't write line of PHP says PHP is dead. Lol. Right.
I mean, yeah, PHP can't be dead. I mean, obviously, I think there is a stat which clearly says that more than half of the websites are on PHP. So whether it is through WordPress or
It's
some
not
any other
going to
CMS
die,
things.
but I feel like kind of things like Laravel and this WordPress, these are holding PHP, or
yeah.
we can say,
WordPress is also hold a lot of share in market
Yes,
obviously,
right now.
yes.
obviously. WordPress is really great. I really hate. It's great, but really, I really hate.
It's almost like a poem, Sarthak.
WordPress is really great, but I really hate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
the same feeling. I have seen how great WordPress is. It's so easy for someone with no technical background to create a very
Yeah.
powerful page. Just like this using some page builder tools. So
Yeah.
you can't beat it. But obviously,
Yeah, I read a post that WordPress is there is another version of WordPress being created in Node.js. but I never saw it coming. It never
Is
came
it?
out, I think.
It would have been killer.
Yeah. But
People
it will
can
be
do
same
anything.
because if there is no technical, all the technology is hidden in WordPress. So
Exactly.
whether it is created on Node.js or even in Golang, people won't see
Nobody
it.
care. Nobody care.
Plugin ही
And
तो
that
डालना है.
Yeah,
and that's the pain. That's the pain actually for developer.
Yes.
yeah.
And
Plugin development and making customizations is the
but
major pain.
Right.
just I have initially when I was starting learning these web technologies, I thought everyone is saying learn WordPress. And so, okay, let's try. What I have to code on that? For like for 2 or 3 hours I was watching the videos, and he was like installing and pulling and installing plugins. I said, where is code? He has not opened the notepad plus plus yet.
Yeah,
Why it is called programming? Why it is called developing? You are not developing anything. You are
Right.
yeah,
just constructing from different combinations. So I feel
True.
like that, until you are not writing any plugin or theme, you are
yeah.
not a WordPress developer. I feel.
Yeah, and I had a very bad experience as well. It There was a bus booking application traveling, and it was handled with a plugin. And now the client says gives us a lot of customization in that plugin, and that the code was written very badly. So
Mm.
uh, from since then I hated WordPress.
uh, one question is there from Utsho. Sir, what do you think about GraphQL in 2021? I have not used, so if you have used, you can answer.
I have some experience, and I'll share with him. The thing is, although the initial setup you need to understand a lot of things, but the benefit which we have seen is there is very little work on API, because the front end can literally query anything from the database. Okay, and you don't need to write like 50, 60 APIs for an application. The front
Okay.
end is doing a lot of smarts, because there has been a trend where initially when we used to do mobile development, we used to say dumb client and smart API servers.
Hmm.
Now the
Yeah.
things are changing. They're saying the end client is smart and the end client is very powerful, because you have mobile phones which have like 8 GB, 16 GB RAMs. So why
Correct.
don't you utilize it? So we do a lot of computations and calculations on the front end. So it makes sense
Oh.
to use stuff like GraphQL, where they are querying, they are deciding what needs to be fetched. You have to be a little cautious of what you are calling, but other than that, it really reduces the development time.
Oh,
Really like this notion of like having front end is more powerful than the server, obviously.
Yes.
Uh, Server, if maximum you have 1 GB RAM for a small project,
Yes.
but
Uh,
obviously nowadays least RAM is 4 GB or 2 GB
right.
maybe at least. At
Yeah.
least you have a 2 GB RAM for
Correct.
any smartphone.
So
Great,
why don't you
nice,
utilize it? Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
What's your experience, Ayush?
yeah, I tried it once, but I didn't like it because REST API development flow is my comfortable for me, so I didn't continue it. But it's yeah, I heard it's good that you have to hit one API endpoint and you can get data using different methods. So I will look into it if there is some need in my project. But otherwise, I will not try it by myself.
Okay, Robot Glock says GraphQL usually runs on separate node instance or a Lambda call separately from your front end, like localhost 4000 for GraphQL server and 3000 for Reactor View. So what's that actually? So if it is running on localhost 4000 for a GraphQL, that means it's running on backend, obviously. So if you are saying computation, so what kind of computation we can do on the front end with the GraphQL?
Okay, so is that a question for me, Sarthak?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. So I'll give you an example how we did this same thing on our applications. This was
Yeah.
a social networking kind of a site. Now, uh, when we wanted to get posts for a user on his timeline, okay, there is one API call which basically says that give me posts for
Mhm.
user ID with this, right?
Correct.
But then if I want to filter that post to a timeline with only a hashtag, typically what I will do, I will have to either create an API which takes an additional query parameter, okay,
Okay.
and write separate code. Whereas with the mobile app development team, what they were able to do was they said, okay, no, the API is exposed, right? We will write the GraphQL query and place it. So there was no API development required at all. They were
Oh,
independently doing the entire thing. And because this is a React Native application, so
Mm-hmm.
once the API is set up, it is
Mm-hmm.
there. Now the only development that you need to do is JavaScript, and you have handled everything. So
Okay.
it becomes very efficient in terms of development cycle for any company. That's where I think the real power is.
Okay.
That
So I
yeah, but
think
it's not mainstream. I don't know why it's all the companies mostly use REST APIs then.
um, two three things. One is the setup. It was a very difficult phase when we were initially doing the setup
Oh,
because of security policies, and lot of rules are required so that your client doesn't run certain queries which can create problems, like
okay.
on a big database, if you do a select star from this
Yeah,
and without a limit, right, it can kill you.
yeah,
So if
exactly.
the front end goes with such a query, and if that app hits production, then you're
hmm,
gone, because you will have to make a release. That release is going
yeah,
to take time. Android, you can still go within 1 or 2 hours. iOS, you can just completely forget about it. They take 2 days for review. Okay.
yeah,
That's a
So for
different thing.
2 days, yes. So for 2 days, basically, you can say, I am not going to sleep. I have to just hear from my client because we have
Hmm.
made a big move. So those are certain very important things to consider.
Hmm.
It takes
yeah,
time in those kinds of setups, but otherwise, things are quite peaceful once
yeah.
you
So
have.
GraphQL exposes the database, so you can query it hitting the single endpoint. So
Right.
it's like in REST APIs, you exposes the endpoint, and you know that it will give this specific response. But in GraphQL, front end can query
Yes.
according to its requirements, and it will okay. I,
Okay.
I
But,
I
but then
understood this.
but then
Yeah,
REST will be more secure, na? Than in compared to
Um,
GraphQL.
yes, you write certain rules to
yeah.
uh, how do you say it? Like
Secure the yeah,
traffic rules which you are setting. You
Hmm.
cannot go beyond this. You
Hmm.
cannot query beyond this limit of records. Those kinds of things you'll have to be very careful.
Hmm.
Yeah.
yeah. So
So in,
development is
Yeah,
completely
good.
different for GraphQL API.
Yes.
okay. So in GraphQL, I think the work of front end developer is more compared
Hmm.
to back end.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Okay.
divided equally. Like
Yeah,
earlier,
it's
front
divided
end
equally.
developers just hit the query and get the response and show it on. But now it's
Right.
transferred to the front end.
I
Correct.
remember
Like you do my work.
when we were developing a mobile application, and the person I used to work for the mobile development, like I have created the REST APIs, and his job is just to hit the API and get the data. So I was saying him that you have to send it to three parameters so that I can filter out for filtering things. So he said, "Sir, why you are creating this kind of API? Create three API for three different filters. I just have to hit. I don't want to think about what I have to send there. You just say this number one API is for name filter, number two API is for email filter, I said,
So,
no, this is not going to work. You can just send me query parameters. I can filter according. Sir, what is this, sir? So
Yeah.
he's like he's not like willing to think about any other thing. He said this and that, this and that. This is a combination.
so the days of dumb client, right? Where the client doesn't
Sorry.
need to
Dumb
think.
cry.
The days of dumb client, where the client won't think too
Yeah.
much. It will just call an API.
Ex- exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the same, and for the same application, we tried it for deploying on the App Store of iOS. And you know what
Yeah.
happened? We were initially having a splash screen. The screen comes when you
Yeah.
open the app. That is a splash screen. So we have a red color of a splash screen. Okay,
Mm.
and after like 2 months, we decided the client decided to convert from red to orange. Okay, and we haven't changed anything. We just changed the splash screen and we submitted for the review, and they rejected. They are saying previously you had two splash screen, one with two of the red, but now you have one red, one orange. You have to change it. And we were like, orange and red are almost same, but
No.
it was rejected just for a splash screen.
Yeah.
Oh,
They have very tight rules and regulations.
yeah.
Okay,
I
let's.
wanted to ask you guys
Yeah,
about microservices. So, have you guys worked on microservice project in like
I have
mostly
not.
we do monolith?
I have not worked, but obviously, if Amitabh have any experience,
It cannot be considered as a complete microservice
yeah,
architecture, but
exactly.
um, so for example, we the same application which I was talking about, the social
Yeah.
media platform, right?
Uh-huh.
It had a requirement to um, create different images of different sizes for different devices. Okay, so
Okay.
we could have done this with Laravel and intervention, but then we decided to do that using a Lambda function. Okay, so solid. It's a complete
Mhm.
set, a different setup. Then the second thing which we did was the NLP. There was a requirement
Yeah.
for doing
Natural
some
language.
NLP analysis.
Mhm.
Okay, so whenever a user is submitting a post, we could have again done it with Amazon NLP services using PHP, but that time the PHP team was too busy doing regular development, so we asked the second team to write it in Node. Okay, so and it worked very well. And we have a search service which is again a node using Elasticsearch. So
Okay.
this application is kind of you know doing lot of things in different ways using different technologies. So and that's the beauty, because it doesn't create a lot of burden for one team to manage the entire application. And
Mhm.
you know our company has developers with specific skills, which they are very good at. So we are
Yeah.
able to, using microservices architecture, we are able to get the best out of them and overall manage the project better. So it's there. I mean, I have read a lot about how Netflix does it. uh,
Oh,
they are like
that
the pioneer of microservices, but yes, this
microservice, really, really. Netflix is actually people are referring Netflix case studies for
correct.
creating or learning the microservices.
Yeah.
Big giants are really great for these references.
Yes. And best part is, all these microservices are doing so many things, but they are not exposed to the internet. So we don't
Uh,
need to do any kind of authentication. So I have, like the search services, like the search service, what it does is it is running on the same EC2 instance where my Laravel API is.
mhm,
Okay.
Okay.
But it is running on localhost 3000.
mhm.
So,
Oh.
okay, so the entry
Okay.
point is from the Laravel API. It internally calls a localhost 3000, and the data exchange is happening, and I don't need to do any authentication. I
Oh,
need
it's
to
Oh, nice.
so,
Yeah, that
so
was my question actually, the authentication part.
Okay,
So we
so it's
Yeah.
like it's if we are using Elasticsearch, this is the
hmm,
same kind of thing, no? So we have a
Yeah.
Elasticsearch installed on same instance, and through the Laravel we are calling Elasticsearch and getting the result and then serving to the user.
so even for Elasticsearch, we went one step ahead. We have the Elastic instance on AWS. The AWS instance says that the Elastic can the request can only come from the EC2 instances. The IP is hard coded.
Yeah.
So if I try to make any API call to that server, it won't even allow.
Uh,
So
good job
outside
there.
access is completely
Yeah.
closed, right? And my API authentication is typical passport, Laravel application,
Hmm.
no headache, right? Laravel application does the authentication, internally calls this microservice. Now, this microservice, because it is on the EC2 server, it can call the Elastic instance, and everything is very secure. So I have no security headache.
But
This works quite well.
comes when it comes to real authentication in microservices, like we should have. I have read that. Obviously, I have not used it, but I read that we should have a dedicated server just for the authentication. That
Yes.
that
So at
that is
that point,
used.
what happens is JWTs you will have to maintain in a database or some central service which is able to authenticate you.
But and then
Yeah.
they are using like gRPC kind of thing, RPC thing.
I haven't used it. What
I
is
have
that?
I
Yeah.
have also not used it, but I have read about that. So gRPC, which is Google's RPC, remote something something, I forgot. So
Okay,
Yeah.
read about it today.
yeah,
So we have to set a communication protocol between
yeah.
microservices like TCP,
Hmm.
and there is some kind of message broker involved like Kafka. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've read
RabbitRQ,
in
Kafka.
Nest.js documentation.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to use some RabbitMQ or Kafka or
Hmm.
some kind of message broker to
Mm-hmm.
make the communication between the microservices.
I feel like with Laravel, we don't have these big kind of names like microservices, message
Yeah.
brokers. Everything is included. we
Yeah.
Taylor should go to these big names.
Yeah,
Yes.
actually, I am creating I was trying to create a project in Laravel. So initially, you get a users table, right? So
Mm,
you will store your users there, and suppose a user is posting, creating a blog post, and now I want for the comment section, I want a I want it to be handled by a microservice, so I can use it anywhere else. So I tried to create a simple MongoDB collection for comments and a Node Express setup, the typical Node Express API, but just to handle the comments.
Hmm.
And now suppose I create an endpoint for saving the comment and fetching in the node. And when a user posts a comment in Laravel application, the comment should save in the MongoDB database using that endpoint. Now the
Right.
challenge is when you fetch all the comments for a single post. Suppose
mhm,
there are 50 comments on the post and you fetch it. The comment has a body, text body, but it also has the user's image and the name, which is saved in the MySQL database. So how do you fetch both at the same time? Because you can't put a join because comments are running independently.
yes.
Comment service,
Right.
and so yeah, that was the challenge. Then suppose you try to scale up, like suppose you have a microservice for comments, now you have a microservice for post itself.
Mhm,
So
Correct.
you have to make the communication between these two also. So it gets complex. So I decided to look into the documentation. Earlier, I was trying to think by myself that let's without reading, let's try to implement.
mhm.
But now it's time to read something.
Yes.
So one question is there from Anand Bhagat. He says, uh, "What is the best place to start with freelancing?" Let's talk about freelancing a little bit.
Yeah,
Any experience,
freelancing.
Ayush?
Yeah, it's very headache. It's,
So he want to, I think, start as a freelancer. So I think he can start from Upwork or freelancing.com. Or first, I think every freelancer starts from his own network. I haven't
Yeah,
heard about
yeah.
anyone like I have first started from Upwork.
No,
No, you
they
have
start
you
from
you made a very
some
good point.
pehchan wala person
Yes,
who
Pechan wala,
comes with,
right?
yeah,
Correct.
You just need to just make a good friendship with any HR.
Right. Even
yeah,
I personally also I don't do too much freelancing work because I hardly get time. But some of my friends who have done it, right? Their
Uh,
first project has always been मैंने अपने आंटी का ये वेबसाइट बना दिया था मैंने मेरी चाची जो
it's
डॉक्टर है
yeah,
उनके लिए ये बना दिया था right
exactly.
so that's
yeah,
your entry point once you have
yeah,
something to show the end client it becomes very easy to convince
So it's like
so
everyone who want to start freelancing, they should build their portfolio first by doing any kind of project like city level project, family level project.
yeah,
level project
You
yes
can build your your nephew's website if he is doing any kind of thing like
correct
business.
correct
For any
yeah,
doctor, you can build a website or app. It's like you just need a real working project to showcase, to
correct
ask for new project.
yeah. There are two key points for freelancing.
Okay, sure.
First is your network, and second is your portfolio. So every time, if you found someone who is willing to give you a project, he will ask you only one thing: what have you done till now? Show
What
me your
have
work.
you done?
Yeah, so
Correct.
you have to show
Show
him
me
that
your
I
experience.
built these websites and I these are the technologies I use. This was the scaling issues I have faced and I achieved it. Or you have to show your work. So portfolio is the
Exactly.
first thing. Then your network. You have to
Hmm.
build a good network who can potentially give you a project
So
in
yeah.
lifetime.
So from where we can build network, like from
Yeah,
obviously
LinkedIn,
LinkedIn.
Twitter,
So I feel like
LinkedIn,
for
Twitter, Facebook.
freelancing thing, LinkedIn is very nice. You can
Yeah,
directly message to anyone. You don't
yeah,
have to like care about
yes
like
yes I
what
think
he's going
what
to say.
one I was reading somewhere LinkedIn is a unique platform because I mean it's with Twitter as well but on LinkedIn you can directly communicate with the CEO of a company if you can like
Correct.
yeah,
right which is a very unique thing about that platform otherwise it is
You
not
cannot
possible
not
so
possible.
yeah so I think that's there are
yeah.
avenues I mean in today's world there is ample of ways to do it but yeah first starting project is always the crucial one and yeah creating the
Yeah.
portfolio is important
Okay. So I want to ask one. Let me just check any other questions. Good questions. Um, freelancing is tough. Which graphic card do you have in your PC? I really don't know. Okay, so
challenge is getting government projects and selling your software which solves problems to business
challenge is
government projects you can forget about them they don't pay you
government
Yeah,
project.
yeah yeah it's it one of
One
my
is like
friends
it's very difficult to get a government project until you have a good
very
network.
good contacts yeah
Very high level contact you need for getting the
yeah,
government project. But once you have it, your life is set. I believe you you
yeah.
can you
for
can
some
create
time
a loop.
okay for some time till the
For-
government is not toppling
yeah,
till the government is not toppling because I'll give you an example my friend he's in Kerala he did a app for that particular government okay they had a blood donation camp so
yeah,
initially he was getting traffic on his website like anything
Oh,
because everyone is signing up okay
exactly.
mera blood group ye hai mera blood group ye hai within first 1 week he had like 10-15 lakh records
Oh,
okay
oh,
he was
nice,
into scaling issues I'll say good if
yeah,
when we have scaling issues that means your app is doing well
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
and he did a lot of things we helped him out with server scaling and all those stuff after about 1.5 years The government changed. So now there is no budget. Now he's saying they are not even paying for the hosting service. I don't know what to do. Should I stop the server or do what? So yes, I mean, uh,
Yeah, and also I don't know why all the government site looks like they are from 90s or something.
dated website.
Very yeah,
that
2020. I don't think the website should look like this. And
that really
what?
happened because
Yeah.
what they are doing, they are hiring people from very
Oh,
low budget, like they initially have a very high budget,
yeah.
but that
खाते
Corruption.
खाते.
when it filters out, when it reaches into the hand of a developer, it's like
Yeah.
1/20th or 1/50th part of the budget.
Yeah.
So the website you are getting is like finally the person who is responsible for developing that website, he say
Yeah.
like to the developer, do
Yeah.
whatever, I don't care, just make that website running. Okay,
Oh,
so nobody care about front end, nobody care about speed, they just care about, okay, this is the data, we have to save it, nothing
yeah.
else.
Actually, the most important site for the like IRCTC. So it should be very built from ground up and with a good today's updated technology. So
But it,
people
in
can
my opinion, IRCTC is the best
yeah,
website.
they improved it. Actually, I have seen the previous site and now there is a new site which uses latest technologies, I think.
Great, great.
And
Latest
yesterday I
one.
seen DigiLocker. Have you seen logged into your DigiLocker account
No, no,
to
no,
get
I
your
have used app,
documents?
not used
So,
it.
so they have a good web app. Yesterday I tried, so you can pull your driving license, your
Mhm.
10th and 12th mark sheet, and your PAN card in
Yes.
pull from the government database and save it in your account. So anytime you
Yeah.
can access. So it's
Yeah, I have
and
this application, mobile application for that.
yeah, and there's a web app also, and they have three passwords. So
Eh?
first you enter first you enter your mobile number. So you will get a you
Okay.
will get to a different page where you will put your Aadhaar card number or that 12 digit. Then you will get an OTP. Then when you enter that OTP, you get redirected to different page where you put a 6-digit security pin, and
Okay.
then you go into the website to see your documents. So it's very very secure.
This much of security is not even in our bank.
HDFC में एक पासवर्ड से हो जाता है.
Yeah.
Only one password.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so that's I think we reached to the end, but we have lots of comment here.
Yeah.
Any view about tutor? What is it,
What
tutor?
is tutor?
Any views about tutor? Techno Abhishek says. LinkedIn has become like Facebook, people sharing irrelevant things, starting from romantic stories to
Wow.
families. He's right, actually. LinkedIn is becoming like a Facebook. Initially, it was really amazing, but now I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's becoming like Facebook. People are posting anything.
Yeah,
They're
people are
posting selfies and everything on
exactly.
LinkedIn. Yeah, I don't know
Really,
why they're posting those kind of pictures on LinkedIn.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, Twitter is a Swadeshi social network. I think it's
Oh,
Oh,
launched
really?
right now. Yeah, I
I
have to
don't
check
know.
it out. Yeah,
let
there is
me
an
Google it
article
out.
on Quint. Twitter,
Acha,
yet
yet
another
another repackaged
Swadeshi.
Swadeshi app. Not
I don't know about that.
okay.
Yet another repacked Swadeshi. Twitter,
Tutor.in is the URL.
Twitter's Desi version, like.
And there is a shunk in place of their bird.
Oh my God. Let us.
Shit. Really shit. Really shit.
Khatarnak. Nice.
What's the name they are
Everything is
suggesting?
fine. Everything is fine. Who built that app? What was that? That COVID app.
Let's beat this
Uh,
person.
Virtual hand sanitizer.
What should
Who? What's the name of that app? Yeah, who created?
uh,
Uh, Damn, I
COVID
forgot
app.
that name. Yes, yes. Setu, Setu. Who created
Huh?
Setu?
Oh,
Yeah, it's
this
a
is
very, I don't like the idea because
the
it's, I
next
don't
big
know how
question
it will
after
work.
who. It's a next big question after why Katappa kill Bahubali.
Bahubali.
It's a next big question.
Arogya Setu.
Who
Arog.
built Arogya Setu app? Even its source code is available on GitHub.
Yeah, because the concept is that you have your Bluetooth on. The app switches on your Bluetooth, and whoever is in range, who is infected, will you will get a notification. But I don't know who has COVID is moving around with
Bluetooth
in
on.
has his app on Bluetooth on that I have COVID and I am moving around you. So you will get a notification. No, it will not work like that.
Okay, one question is from Tanzim. He says, anyways, guys, thoughts on Whitehead Junior making kids
Oh.
sell startup ideas after 38 will their own app.
It's a very serious question actually because Whitehead Junior has a lot of money to shut down anyone.
Arey,
You-
arey,
So don't
yesterday
take
I
the name.
I
You
saw
will get the
this
copyright.
question
Don't take the
on
name.
the advertisement. I was like, it's okay, you have money, but you cannot have
Yeah,
any
Hrithik Roshan is
superhero
doing now doing the ad for so
advertisement.
they
It's
can get
really
anyone.
bad.
Wow.
They have lots of money.
Controversy
Actually, it's
has everything
acquired.
there.
It's headed by that Byju's.
Badges.
Byju's
Yeah,
is
yeah,
heading
it's
this
government
Whitehead Junior.
is backing. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
And there
So
is one
that's
guy, MTech Viral, his YouTube
yeah,
channel, and he talks about
Flutter.
he's very angry on them. So he makes that, and he talked to one of the student who took the course about its price was about 1 lakh for
Yes,
the
yes.
course, and he told the entire truth that how they teach and everything
You know,
and
my
teach.
my
Yeah,
sister's elder boy is learning these Python things, and I'm guiding him everything.
yeah.
So I don't know from where the Whitehead Junior got my sister's number. Okay,
No,
then
let's call them Safed Barfi from now on, please.
yeah, otherwise they will
Don't. Yeah,
going to
yeah,
strike this strike on our channel.
yeah.
So white burfi,
White Barfi. Yeah,
white burfi. So what happened, then they called and they asked that okay, your children is very interested in learning these things, we want to show some demo. So
demo. Yeah,
suddenly I got the call from my sister, like we got a call from Safed Burfi and White Burfi.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I was like, okay, let's have fun, let's call,
Yeah.
let's accept
Let's
the
ask them a
invitation.
question. So they will Google it and give you the answer.
No, what happened, uh, one lady came and she was asking to that the boy, like do you know what is programming? So he's doing 100 days of code, yeah. He has
Yeah,
completed 100 days of code and free code camp, and he was like, yeah, I know what is programming. Programming is a set of instruction, everything. Okay, then she asked, okay, do you know what is loop? Do you know what is variable? And he was going on and on answering each and every question.
yeah.
Then
The teacher got tired.
they go till the machine learning. Okay, so what is machine learning? He answered that also. And finally they were like, how do you know
Okay, we
all
can't
these
teach you
things?
anything.
It was really fun, and I said, okay, let's just put in the end to this thing. And
Yeah,
they're really just exploiting all these things.
yeah,
Bad,
uh,
very bad, very bad. We don't
yeah.
have to
I'm
talk much
surprised they
about that.
didn't offer him a teacher's position invited. And Safed Barfi, sorry.
Okay, one question I have with both of you. Uh, what about Python? We talked about PHP, we talked about Node. What about Python? Do you have any experience with Python, Ayush?
Yes, I have a little. I tried to learn Django once
Wow.
and
Okay.
created one project also, but it's not that fun like Laravel. But it has a unique
Don't
feature which
compare
I think
things
Laravel
with
should bring.
Laravel. Don't compare things with Laravel. It's
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
different thing.
Like in Django, if you create a model for suppose post, you are creating a blog website. So when you create a post model, it creates an admin panel for you with all the CRUD functionality and like a table. So you don't have to create a CRUD
Hmm.
unless you want some customization. So this
Hmm.
I like this feature which is not in Laravel yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, authentication you have to create. They don't give you the scaffolding for authentication.
And I
And
have
for
also read that Django's documentation about how they are using the migration. It's complicated. I feel migration is really
yeah,
complicated.
and
In
their
the
documentation, their error handling is like when you get any error in Django, you don't easily get what's the issue
uh,
going on. Yeah, so and in machine learning, we I use Python for scikit-learn is a NumPy. These are
yeah,
the
that's a
so
really
yeah,
great things.
yeah,
Great libraries. I'm actually going to start a new series on Python.
yeah.
So
You had one series. I saw
I
it.
had one. It was,
Python.
I think, like 1.5 year ago, or maybe older than that. But I'm
Yeah,
going to start a very in-depth, full-on, high-scale Python series. It's going to the roots of the Python.
okay.
So that's what I'm planning. Also, I'm planning for Django actually. So this is
Yeah,
going to be like one is a high level thing, one is lower level thing. High level is like frameworks and other things, and low level like basic Python. What is number? And not just what is number in Python. It's like
yeah,
what is the range of the numbers, and how, why this that range is, and what kind of number, like totally digging into the
yeah.
Python.
Yeah,
So
actually,
this,
the cool thing about Python is it's diversity. It's very versatile. You can do anything, and also that thing is with JavaScript nowadays. So you can do anything with JavaScript. So
but
I ask you two questions,
yes,
both of you, that if you are given JavaScript or Python, and you can only choose one for your rest of your life, which one you choose, JavaScript or Python?
obviously I will choose JavaScript. What about
JavaScript
Yeah,
you?
again.
JavaScript.
JavaScript for sure.
yeah,
One reason is like it's so easy in my opinion compared to Python. I don't know, Python is obviously easy, but when you see JavaScript code, you feel like
yeah,
home.
yeah. Because it
Okay.
started with JavaScript. But
No,
in terms,
no, the
yeah,
point is JavaScript is applicable everywhere. You cannot build any extension, Chrome extension with Python.
yeah,
Or if it is, I don't know about that, but you can
because
use
JavaScript
JavaScript
is
on
the
the
language for the web, so you see
for
it
the web,
everywhere. Yeah,
not just for the web, for the backend also, no, for the
yeah,
desktop, for the
Now
desktop app,
JavaScript is
Electron.js,
everywhere. Yes. Now
JavaScript
yeah. You
is
can
JavaScript is
create
everywhere.
everywhere.
desktop applications even using Electron. So what's
Exactly.
left?
Even machine
Machine
learning,
learning, yeah.
TensorFlow.js,
TensorFlow.js,
TensorFlow.js
yeah,
is
right.
there. So you can almost do everything whatever you want to do with Python.
Yeah,
And even with the Python, that's not exactly Python. Like all the NumPy and Matplotlib, these libraries are not written in Python. These are written in C or C++.
C plus, yeah, and
Generally
ported
they
to
are written
Python.
in, yeah, so it's just a compatibility issue,
Yeah,
compatibility not issue, but advantage of Python, that it can adapt any language.
yeah.
So
And
that's
one more question, like clean code. Everyone obviously like clean code. So which code you see and think that yeah, this is very clean code? PHP, JS, or Python?
Amitav.
I haven't used Python, but clean code, it's so subjective because when I develop, right, I first
objective.
right? Everything in one, like, if I'm doing any business logic, right? Everything is in my
Yeah,
controller at first.
yeah. Then
Okay.
you divide it to a model,
Right,
something to the
because
model.
I used to there was a phase when I used to say, okay, no, I will first structure, and side by side I will do the code. It didn't work for me.
No, no, no. Yeah,
Okay, so uh, I think any code which is easy to understand and doesn't
yeah,
require too much digging into, that
yeah,
this is going into that particular class, and then again this over engineering, if it is not there, it's good.
yeah,
So clean code. But yeah, there are certain things which I recommend while we do code. For example, the separation of concern, because, and
mm,
not repeating yourself, because that can
yeah.
really kill the entire project's future. Because if you are, after 3 months, 4 months, when you are, or even after a month, actually, if you are
You
working on
forget
the same
what you
functionality, you
did.
don't remember everything. So it is
Yeah,
important
You
that
know
you are
what?
not making.
What just happened? I just rewritten all the front end of my website, bitfumes.com.
Hmm.
Next 10, just it just released. So I had rewritten everything. Okay.
Hmm.
And this time I have used all hooks everywhere, and reusable hooks. I have created custom hooks, and I realized that it was not bad. The previous code was not bad, because it just took me 4 or 5 days to rewrite everything, just
Hmm.
watching the just reading the previous code. And I was like, oh, I have written very nice code previously. Since I
yeah,
am, after 1 year, I am able to understand them easily.
yeah,
I can
Yeah.
rewrite them. I said, "Yeah, okay, very nice, Arthur. You have written very
mm,
good code."
yeah,
That's the ultimate satisfaction, isn't it?
That's the ultimate
yeah,
satisfaction. So in my opinion, JavaScript code feels like a more cleaner to me, because
yeah,
of the, like, we have various ways to make code look nicer. Like, the if you want to spread the spread operator, that sometimes makes your code cleaner. Sometime
yeah,
if you want to filter over the array, then you can use directly filter, and inside that filter you can use arrow function to have everything in one line instead of having 4 line.
yeah.
But if you
It
have to
looks
do the
good.
same thing in Python, you have to write 3 line. If you
Yeah,
want to do the same thing in PHP, you have to write 8 or 10 line, because of the
yeah,
function you have to create, then call with this dot, this arrow. So and one thing is like, with PHP you need arrow, this arrow, okay, to
Yeah.
chain everything. But with
yeah.
JavaScript it's just
Dot.
dot, so it's
Yeah,
Dot.
like very smooth and very, like, clean, you can say.
Yes.
But this
mm,
is just for the visual cleanliness, obviously, not the code cleanliness. Code cleanliness, as Amitav suggested,
yeah.
it's totally
There are a lot
subjective
of
thing.
tools available like Prettier and everything. You can
Exactly.
run it once and it will.
Exactly.
And and the thing with Python is that it does not have that curly braces and a
Ah.
semicolon and everything. So it encourages you to write clean code. It has that indentation in
Mhm.
place
Yep.
of that semicolons and everything.
Semicolon.
Yeah. So and about over engineering. So when I joined the new company in Pune, so they asked me that how do you write? How do you, like I've been working in Laravel for 2 years. So how do you write? Like how do you create an application? So I learned from, yeah, Jeffrey Way and everything. So it's basic controller models and routes and
Mhm.
everything and migrations. So it's basic. So so they got surprised. Yeah, you don't create a repository pattern and everything. Why it is needed? It's, such a small project. Why you are creating interfaces and over engineering repository
True.
pattern? Suppose you put repository pattern. What is the advantage? Because this project is not going to scale. It's just a little application. So why would I put that? So in
Exactly.
every project they put repository pattern. I don't know why.
You know, people are not focusing on completing thing. They just want tools. It's
Yeah,
luck. it's like you don't want clothes just to look good. You want
Yeah.
clothes to have, just
Yeah.
so that you can tell that I have 50 jeans, I have 20 shirts. Not
Yeah.
not for not for covering your body or looking good. You
Doing
just
the
want.
actual work, right? Yeah.
Okay,
So
so they
it's
people just
unnecessary, I
want
mean.
to have the tools. I know repository pattern, I know this pattern, that pattern, I know this, I have used this. But is the real use of these techniques required? It's not required, then why you are using it?
True. I mean, if I take a lot of inspiration from the Spatty packages. Okay, what they
Yeah.
build, and if you
That guy
see,
is.
right, if you look at his code, right, he doesn't do any
Who?
these doesn't use these jargons. He has a very
Hey.
simple way of doing it.
Who?
uh, he will either create a simple service class which has all the business logic inside it, or he will create action classes, which is now quite getting quite popular. But yeah, I mean, that's about it. Why do you, as Ayush said, if your application is not going to use any other kind of database or any other kind of interfaces to interact with, why are you doing a repository? What
Exactly.
is the reason to spend time doing all those things when they are not going to be used at any point of time? So
Yeah.
if you have a strong reason, yes. If you're building a SaaS, if you're building an application which needs to be deployed across multiple kinds of databases, you will have to do it. That's why it was designed. But other than that,
Yeah.
okay, if I'm creating my own website,
Hmm.
my entire code is basically a controller and views.
Yeah.
Right. So as Jeffrey Way said, if you are not repeating it, if it is in one place, if it is inside your controller, let it be. When you need to
Yeah.
refactor, you will do it. You have
The
to write your
Yeah.
tests properly so that when you
Yes,
refactor, you know
Yeah.
that you have done everything correctly. That's the only thing.
the
Code will
only
evolve
goal has to be to complete the things,
Yeah.
so that
in a
you
proper
can
way.
have a proper working model of anything whatever you are building. Then later you can implement things like, as you said, in my website, even I don't have any repository pattern. Forget about pattern, I don't have any interfaces, because in my opinion interface are needed when you are sharing the code with someone else. Interface is just enforcing you to have some functions in your class. Like, I
Right.
want to have a class with three functions. I know I want to every time have that class. Okay, but if I'm sharing that code with you, Amitabh doesn't know that he has to put the three different functions in a class. So that's why I'm implementing that interface, so that he know that, okay, I have to give three different classes. So if I am doing the same, I don't need any interface, and in my website there's
There is
no
one
interface.
one scenario where it can be very helpful. No, I'll give you a real life example.
Yeah,
Uh, Obviously, interface, because it's a contract. So if you have written an API, I know how to implement Sarthak's API. Right. One additional thing is, um, let's say your application
I
has
got.
an email service. No, email service.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
So you have an
That,
interface for
what we call to this thing, it's no, not encapsulation.
it.
There's a
I mean,
object oriented programming.
in basically what I don't know the jargon again, but I think what it
There
does.
is a proper word for it, and that word is widely used in Laravel.
So
Service
basically
container.
we are injecting
Dependency
a
means a type of
dependency, right? So
yes,
yeah, if it is di, I don't know,
Dependency
if
injection.
maybe it
yes,
is di. But the basic idea is that yes, I have said that I have a service or a contract which is able to send an email.
send an email. Correct.
Correct. And that contract needs to have one function which is send mail,
And
which has a this set of options which it
mhm,
requires.
mhm,
And now throughout your application, let's say if my controller needs to
mhm,
trigger an email, or if it's an event who needs to send the email,
yeah,
I just inject this dependency and I
mhm,
uh, execute that function. Now tomorrow I may decide that okay, from AWS I want to use MailChimp. or I can use SendGrid. My
Mhm, mhm.
implementation can change, but the
Yes,
service or the controller is not aware of it. So that's the
correct.
beauty. But
Exactly.
the question is, if I know that it is not going to change, okay, if there is a case,
Mhm.
then do I need to do all those jingbangs? That is the question.
So
If
it
if I
totally
have made
depends.
it, yes, if I have changed it once, I know it can change again, so I should be prepared. But till that time, if it is working on live, it is perfectly
Exactly.
fine.
If it is working on live, don't touch it.
Don't touch it.
Don't touch
On
it.
your website, you have payment gateway, you have so many things, but you said you haven't implemented all those things. It is working, right? It is
I
solving the business problem. So
I
what's the
re-
problem?
I really like have a fear whenever I'm refactoring anything related to payment gateway thing. So I have implemented like
Yeah.
PayPal, Razorpay, and Stripe, three payment gateway. Okay, and whenever I do any refactoring, never happened that I have missed something and uh, I got an email like my payment got got deducted from my bank account, but I have not get the course. I go through the website and I check the log. Oh, I forgot to implement this thing. I really have fear on
Yeah.
these things.
Yeah, it's very risky for in terms of payment gateway. You have to be very careful.
Very careful. I just very high level of like I have to put the sign of danger there. Don't have
Yeah,
don't
very
touch
risky
it.
from the
Yeah.
DB. There is one question. You have a
Yeah.
great playlist, but I need something to understand the basics. Where do API lie in the structure of web server along with the DB? Confused AF. So
Okay.
you want to answer it?
This is the question.
Oh, this is nice. You have great playlist, but I need something to understand the basics. Where do API lie in the structure of a web server along with DB? Hmm. If he can explain it a little better, maybe we will be able to explain him. Because it explains where does database MySQL and API lie in the server? What is the whole structure? Okay, so he has been asking a few questions. So I think um, right. So he wants to understand how the entire uh, flow works, which is, once the web server gets the request from there, how does, things
Mhm.
happen. So if that is
Actually,
correct, this is what renders was. So whenever you are hitting any API, you are making an HTTPS call, let's say a REST call, right? You are first of all hitting a domain. If I go from right to the bare bones, so you're hitting a domain. The domain has, a name, a CNAME or an IP, which says, okay, you need to redirect this request to this particular server. So from the URL, you are going to a server. That server knows that if a request is coming from this domain, I need to route it to this application. Okay, in our case, let's say it is a Laravel application. So you send the request to index.php. In index.php, there is code written which understands that, okay, this request needs to be processed by this controller. So, or rather this route, not even controller, first it will hit the route. So the route will tell Laravel that, okay, this is the controller which is going to handle this request. And then you go deep. So your API is basically coming from the domain to the server to the routes file and getting hold of who is responsible as far as the controller goes in. And then the rest of the code just follows. Whether you have your query written inside the controller, or you have a service, or directly calling the models, that doesn't matter. So that's how the flow goes into. And then it depends how you interact with your DB. If you are directly calling your model, then it's fine. If it is through services, let it be. But that's how your entire flow will coming. And then once everything is done, the controller needs to return. So you have a request. The request is returned as a response. So there, the PHP execution stops. I
So
hope.
yeah, so
Yeah.
in my opinion, API is like simple, like there are some endpoints. Okay, so API are just endpoints where you hitting like you send a request to that API and API endpoint, and that endpoint only going to return the data, not HTML, not CSS, not any JavaScript, just the data. Correct.
Yeah.
So this is,
JSON.
I think, the API stance is like simple. If you request only for the data from your server, and then internally it can get the data from the database, it can get the data from caching, from anywhere. You don't have to care about this that thing. So
Yeah.
API stands for application programming interface. It's going to connect to different kind of application. Like you have a mobile application, and you can connect that mobile application with the server by using the API.
Yeah, actually, the API, we use the term like you have exposed the API. So what does that mean? So he's asking the structure of web server along with DB.
That's
So
actually different.
like local host, it's a web server, right? So there are multiple ports available from 1265 something. And suppose you have a MySQL database running on port 3306, I think, and and your web server is HTTP. Suppose it running on port 80, and now you hit a your root path localhost. So suppose there is no application exposed on that, so it will not return anything. So and now suppose you created some functions, like suppose localhost slash post, it will, when you hit this API, it will return posts. So when you hit that API, the function gets called, and the function connects to the database, does the MySQL query, and takes the data and give to you. So the API is nothing but just a exposed function, which
Okay.
in turn connects to the database
Okay.
and give you the data.
Great.
So yeah, we everyone explained in their own way.
Yeah,
So
obviously.
now he should get it now.
And he
Yeah.
was saying that, okay, I got it. Okay, I got it. Over explained topics. Okay, so can we wrap up? But we have some questions.
Yeah.
Preetham,
Let's quickly go through them.
Preetham
That's it.
says you can help me in a small mini project of spam email detection in Python. I'm getting, oh, this is a different thing.
Small mini project of
Machine
small
learning.
Spam.
man
Not
email
machine
detect.
learning. It's not a machine learning
Mm.
thing. It's just a
Uh,
spam email detection. Spam email detection. How would you detect a spam?
yeah, there is
One,
it's in machine learning. It's actually there are supervised and unsupervised learning. So in
no,
unsupervised, you can do spam email detection.
no, no, no.
It will find the pattern.
Okay.
There is a non-machine learning way also, which is very normal logic. If I have an email like sarthak@bitfumes.com, so you just grab the
Mm.
domain name and hit the hit like HTTP call on that domain. If you get
Okay.
200, if there is a domain, like if you get that, so you can say, okay, this email is valid. Because if you say something at the rate abcd.com, maybe abcd.com is not available. So these kind of ways are there. I'm not exactly aware of this email detection. What is single threaded one question is there. Chandrakant Sangal, he says, what is single threaded and multi-threaded and application in Node and Laravel?
Is PHP multi-threaded? I don't.
No. No, no,
It's single
PHP
threaded.
single
multi-threaded
threaded.
is not right. It's
It's single
Node.
threaded.
Node has a little different way of managing processes, but
Hmm.
yes. So PHP is obviously single-threaded. Although yes, there is a big functional difference between how PHP works on and Node.js works, because in Node it's a process which is running, so it's always on, versus
Hmm.
PHP works on a request level. So every
Yeah.
request creates a thread, and that's how things are maintained. However, I'm pretty excited to try out the PHP 8 just-in-time compiler. Have you
No,
uh,
I have
read up?
I haven't even
No.
not looked into the email PHP 8 thing, and I want to look into that because people are saying that this is going to change the PHP name. Like this is going to change the PHP world. PHP 8.
Oh,
I Yeah, I mean, obviously, in terms of performance, they have clearly said that there there won't be too much difference apart from the just-in-time compiler things, because obviously, from what 7.1 was to where 7.4 is, I think there's a good difference.
Hmm.
But yes, some of the type definition things,
yeah,
the function with those hints about what is expected and what it looks more like TypeScript, which I really enjoy. So
yeah,
yeah, maybe that's where things will change a bit.
Yes.
yeah. So you can define type on the data on PHP now
Right.
with PHP. Okay.
Can we wrap up now?
Yeah. Yeah. I
It's
don't see
mm,
any more questions. Just
no
normal
questions
chat.
are
So yeah.
questions
Questions
are
will
there.
keep
We have
coming.
actually skipped
Yeah,
any
yeah. I
question.
had one question actually.
Okay.
Like you
So
have used queues in Laravel, right?
Hmm.
yes.
So I had a Excel file of with 5,000 records, so I had to import it. But it was taking a lot of time, so I sent it to a queue worker,
Hmm.
and the function completes. It sends it to a queue worker. It start importing. I show the message that the file has started. Please refresh in 5 to 10 minutes to see the completion. But now, what if the file import fails, or even if it completes successfully? How do I know that now it's completed? Because we have sent it to the queue and the function has run, and now you can browse around the website, but how do you know the status of that process, if it's failed or it's completed, that import?
And it's in
With
Laravel, right?
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
with Laravel 8, there is a new thing in queue. I have not tried it, but the exactly same example Taylor has used, and even you will find the same example in Muhammad Said book, that
Working with queues.
Laravel Q, yeah, the
Yes.
whatever name is. So that same book. So with Laravel 8, you have like queuing system where you can upload a big file, and that will inform you in a way. Like there is a function, I think, in a queue, like after complete, after queue, some
yeah.
kind of after related function is there, which is going to trigger once you have completed the job. Okay,
So you have
so
to put a listener for that event,
type
right?
of listener, yes.
Mm.
After once it is completed, you can do something. Okay,
Yes.
so
So
when
basically, an
once it is
async process which is waiting for its completion, and then it will do something. But again, you will need some notification,
no, I
right?
think it
Yeah.
doesn't wait for the process to complete. It's like a triggering. It's not waiting.
Hmm.
It's sitting there. Once the process is completed, Laravel is going to trigger that thing, that function.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
once it is done, you can do something. But this is how we have to do this. I have not used it, so maybe you can browse the
Let me. Yeah.
Documentation I
documentation,
have to read.
Laravel documentation. There is the same example I have heard from Taylor Otwell, from the Laravel 8 presentation. You can check
Okay.
that presentation also. Exactly same thing is there.
Okay.
Okay. So the process goes to the queue, and then the queue, when it is finishing, I get a response. Okay.
And
Let me also read
with
about
this
it. It's
level
an
8,
important
there is
part.
a system like you can actually show the progress bar. Okay, so you can send a notification like 20%, 50%, 60, like that. It's
Mm.
done, and it's chunking the data. So it's get the data, chunk it into different parts, and then upload it. So
Okay.
I have
Yeah,
not
chunk.
used it
I have
once again,
I have
but
implemented chunk and everything because otherwise I will get a error for excessive
Memory.
memory usage.
that's
So
obvious.
suppose the file import takes 15 minutes and I upload the file, I get the message that import is started. Now I exit the website. Now I
Obviously,
come
this is
after 15
Then we are
minutes
gone.
and I see I have to see the notification whether it is successfully completed or failed after again coming on the website, logging in or log out. So that has to be maintained also in the
Yes, I mean,
database. Yeah,
obviously, if you have a socket connection, it becomes very easy because
yeah, yeah, yeah,
it can consistently listen for an event, and the moment it happens, you can just send a notification
yeah,
to the client saying that it has completed. So that's always there. But if there is no socket, then yes,
yeah.
you will have to do certain kinds of
Save it in
checks.
the database. Yeah,
Correct,
because socket connection only happens when you are on the page, so
on
it
the page.
subscribes to the channel. But if you
Correct,
are on not on the page, then socket will not work.
will not work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay. So let's end this.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
really
It's
great
1 hour
experience
forty
here.
six.
1 hour 46 minutes.
Yeah.
So next time, people, if you want to join, just like Amitav and Ayush has joined, you can join next time also for this kind of lives. We will have chat on different things. Okay, so one more time, thank you, Amitav, and thank you, Ayush, for joining and sharing
yeah.
your knowledge, your experience. And let's have some other
Guests next time
live
where
someday also.
we can easily listen to new things when others are discussing. Obviously,
Sorry?
Sarthak has a different role. I'm saying let's hope next time we have different guests so that me and Ayush will just sit and relax and listen to
Yeah.
the others.
Obviously.
Sarthak, you will have to obviously talk every time because it's
I
your
have
show.
to talk. I have to talk.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why I'm encouraging other people. So be ready with your mic and camera next time, because we can chat live one on one. Okay, so one more time, saying to all bye bye. And if you have not joined
Yeah.
Bitfumes newsletter, do join bitfumes.com/newsletters, weekly email regarding programming related things. Till then, bye bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.